Hello class and welcome to another exciting facilitation for this semester. I am Dr. Annie George, Department of Public Health, Faculty of Health Sciences, and will be your guide. Hope we all enjoy it. Thank you. Welcome to another facilitation session on PHS 311, Child Health. Last week we looked at topic 3, where we discussed nutrition in children 0 to 5 years. We talked about the essentials of nutrition in people of this age and the common problems they face as well and how to prevent those common problems. So today we'll be looking at topic 4, vaccine preventable diseases. At the end of this lesson, we should know the importance of vaccination and the vaccine preventable diseases, understand national immunization policy and targets, and then also know the routine immunization schedule in Nigeria. So, importance of vaccination. How is vaccination important? It's actually one of those most successful and cost-effective public health investments globally. Vaccines are usually cheap and available at all times. Many immunization programs over time have been instituted by WHO, which is aimed at protecting children from childhood diseases, and these have yielded fruits in reducing under 5 mortality globally. So what are the vaccine preventable diseases? What are those diseases that should be prevented with vaccines? Diphtheria is one of them. Diphtheria disease is caused by a bacterium called Corynebacterium diphtheriae. We have tetanus disease or tetanus infection, which is caused by another bacterium called Clostridium tetani. We have pertussis, which is otherwise known as whooping cough. The bacterial organism implicated as a causative agent in this disease is called Bordetella pertussis. Then we have the almighty tuberculosis, which is caused by Mycobacterium tuberculosis. And then we have the viral infection called hepatitis, which is caused by hepatitis B virus. We have measles, by the measles virus. We have poliomyelitis caused by poliovirus. And then we have the yellow fever disease, which is caused by yellow fever virus. These are diseases that can be prevented with vaccines. Now, I want to take you through what we call the Vasin Technologies. Globally, we have the common Vasin Technologies, which is applied in production of vaccines. Some vaccines are called killed vaccines when they are produced. In other words, the agent of infection is usually in a killed form and introduced as a vaccine in individuals that take them. So those organisms are killed, and in their killed form, they whoop up what we call immune response in the individual that takes such vaccines. Example of vaccines that are killed vaccines are the injectable polio vaccines, IPVs. Pertussis is also an example. We have hepatitis A vaccine and the rabies vaccines. These are categories of vaccines that are in killed category. Then we have the live attenuated vaccines. Live attenuated vaccines are those agents that cause infection are not killed. Rather, they are made in such a form that they are inactive. Unlike being active and causing disease as a disease agent, they are made inactive, and that's why they are called live attenuated. they also produce and activate immune response in individuals that take them. Examples of such vaccines are the MMR vaccines, which is a combination of measles, mumps, and rubella vaccine, and then we have the yellow fever vaccine. They are in that category of live attenuated vaccines, among other vaccines. Then we have the Torxoids. Torxoids are another, vaccine technology where the vaccines that are produced are, produced from the toxins of such bacterial infection or the organism that causes such infection. The toxins that they secrete into the system of that human they infect is used to produce the vaccines that are introduced to other humans for protecting them. And such Torxoid vaccines also stimulate immune response in such individual. Examples of vaccines or diseases that or vaccines that are produced in the Torxoid family is the diphtheria vaccines, the tetanus vaccines, the common tetanus Torxoid vaccines that we would take. They are Torxoids, diphtheria Torxoid vaccines. Then the most current technology which is applied in vaccine production is currently the one due to COVID pandemic. Is called mRNA technology. The messenger RNA technology is deployed in production of Pfizer vaccines and the Moderna vaccines, which are the COVID vaccines, which is currently being used. The technology uses mRNA, and when it is introduced into the system, it also stimulates immune response. Then another one which is also deployed in COVID vaccine production is the chimpanzee adenovirus vectored vaccines technology. AstraZeneca, Johnson & Johnson COVID vaccines used this chimpanzee adenovirus vectored vaccines technology in producing their own vaccines, which also, when introduced into humans, stimulates or activates immune response against COVID infection or against severe disease as a result of COVID infection. So we have the National Immunization Policy, which was revised in 2009. The policy was to provide potent vaccines free to all population at risk of vaccine preventable diseases. And then we have the immunization. Such immunization is a collaborative venture between government and partners. Government is usually the driver, while the partners support routine immunization activities. The partners could be WHO, it could be UNICEF, it could be non-governmental organizations and other bilateral organizations like the DFID, the USAID, and all that. They all play a role as partners in immunization policy. So what is the target of national immunization? The target was to improve and sustain routine immunization coverage of all antigens, of course, which are from the infections that cause those vaccine preventable diseases to 90% by the year 2020, in line with the national vision. This should be achieved through quality supplemental activities, interruption of polio transmission by the end of 2009, and total eradication by the end of 2013. Polio was eradicated in Nigeria and declared eradicated, even though currently some people reported, there was a report that polio virus was noticed in one place or the other in northern Nigeria. But as of sometime maybe 2 years ago or so, it was declared eradicated. I'm not sure of the year exactly, but not too far away from now, it was declared completely eradicated. Now, the target was also to eliminate maternal and neonatal tetanus by the end of 2010, but we will focus more on childhood immunization in this our discussion, because we're talking about child health. So who are the eligible target groups for vaccination? We have children who are 0 to 11 months who receive routine vaccinations against those killer diseases or the preventable childhood diseases. We have eligible children who are 0 to 59 months who receive oral polio vaccination for polio eradication. Then we have women of childbearing age between 15 to 49 who receive tetanus toxoid vaccination. Then we have other risk groups, especially in and outbreak situations, and those who are traveling to endemic areas of such diseases, international travelers who might be exposed to yellow fever and cerebrospinal meningitis, so and all that. So they could receive yellow fever or cerebrospinal meningitis vaccinations. So what is the routine immunization? What is usually the routine immunization that you hear about? So routine immunization is basically the sum of all human and logistical activities to ensure the regular delivery of vaccines. Everything we do as humans, logistically, to ensure that we deliver vaccines regularly to people. The ultimate goal of providing the needed vaccines to all eligible children and women of childbearing age. So we have the National Routine Immunization Schedule in Nigeria. That is WHO Routine Immunization Schedule, which have components of vaccines and which is a template at which most countries use to actually develop their own immunization based on their own health circumstance. So in Nigeria, we have at birth, people take BCG, oral polio vaccines, the first dose, and hepatitis B, the first dose. And then at week 6, we have the oral polio vaccine 1 and the pentavalent vaccine 1. The pentavalent vaccine is a combination of about 3 vaccines. That's why it's called pentavalent vaccine. You have the DPT, you have the hepatitis B vaccine, and then you have MMR vaccine, all combined. So they are called pentavalent vaccine. You have the DPT, which is the diphtheria, pertussis, and tetanus vaccine. You have the MMR, which is the mumps, measles, and rubella. And then you have the one they call hepatitis B vaccine. So these are the vaccines that are combined to form the pentavalent vaccine. Then we have pneumococcal vaccine, PCV1, and then the rotavirus, which is to be introduced later in the vaccination schedule of Nigeria. That's why I put it plus. So the OPV1, pentavalent 1, and PCV1, which is the pneumococcal vaccine, is PCV1, is taken at 6 weeks. At 10 weeks, you repeat OPV2, pentavalent 2, and PCV2, and then the rota 2. And then at 14 weeks, OPV3, pentavalent 3, and PCV3, excluding the rota. Then at 9 months, receive measles, yellow fever, and meningococcal vaccine. The asterisk mark you're seeing is that the OPV0 and the hepatitis B0 must be given within 2 weeks of birth. That's when it should be effective to receive it. So in summary, we know the importance of vaccination and what we call vaccine preventable diseases. We now know the national immunization policy and the targets and how routine immunization schedule is like in Nigeria. In our next lecture, we'll look at immunization schedule and cold chain management. Thank you for listening.